You keep trying to control everything, every outcome, every person, every moment. And look at you now, tired, frustrated, heavy inside. Because the truth is, some battles were never yours to carry. Some doors will never open until you stop kicking them down. Some blessings will never arrive until your hands stop choking the steering wheel of your life. You say you trust God, but every night you still wrestle with fear. You still panic over tomorrow. You still break yourself trying to force what was never meant for you. Listen to me. When God takes over, peace enters the room, not because life gets easy, but because your soul finally understands who's really in control. There is purpose in the pain, there is direction in the delay, there is power in surrender. And some of you need to hear this today. You are one act of faith away from becoming the person you were born to be. You wake up every morning trying to control everything. Every conversation, every opportunity, every outcome. You try to make people understand you. You try to force doors open. You try to hold together relationships that are already falling apart in your hands. And the truth, it's killing your peace. Some of you are smiling in public but collapsing in private. Not because life is impossible, but because you are trying to play a role God never asked you to play. You are trying to be the author, the savior, the protector, the provider, the answer to everything. No wonder you're tired, no wonder your soul feels heavy. You were never meant to carry the weight of tomorrow. Listen carefully. There is a difference between responsibility and control. Responsibility says, I will give my best. Control says, I must force the outcome. And forcing the outcome is where fear lives. That's where anxiety grows. That's where sleepless nights begin. That's where overthinking starts eating your mind alive. Because when you believe everything depends on you, pressure becomes your prison. You replay conversations in your head. You worry about situations you cannot change. You panic over things that haven't even happened yet. And every day you lose a little more peace trying to predict the future. But hear me clearly today. God did not create you to live trapped in fear. Some of you are trying to force relationships that God is removing, trying to chase people who already decided to leave, trying to fix hearts that were never loyal to you in the first place. And every time you beg for what no longer belongs in your life, you lose a piece of yourself. Stop chasing closure from people who enjoy watching you suffer. Stop begging for loyalty from people who already betrayed you. Stop draining your spirit trying to hold on to what God is trying to take out of your hands. Everybody cannot go where you are going. Ride that in your soul. Everybody cannot go where you are going. Some people were only meant for a season, a lesson, a chapter, not the entire story. And the longer you fight to keep temporary people in permanent positions, the longer you delay your own healing. See, letting go is not weakness. People think surrender means giving up. No, surrender is wisdom. Surrender is understanding that God sees what you cannot see. He sees the betrayal before it happens. He sees the closed door that was protecting you. He sees the delay that was preparing you. He sees the pain that is shaping your character. But you only see the moment. That's why faith matters. Faith means trusting even when life makes no sense. Anybody can trust when the money is flowing. Anybody can trust when the relationship is perfect. Anybody can trust when the doors are opening. But can you trust when the answer is wait? Can you trust when the path is unclear? Can you trust when everything around you feels uncertain? That is real faith. And some of you are in a season right now where God is teaching you how to release control. Because control has become your addiction. You want to know every detail before you move. You want guarantees before you believe. You want certainty before you trust, but life doesn't work that way. Sometimes God will ask you to walk into the unknown with nothing but faith in your heart. No map, no reassurance, no applause, just trust. And that terrifies people. Because human nature wants control, we want answers, we want timelines, we want proof. But faith says, even when I don't understand, I will keep walking. That's power. You know what destroys most people? Not failure, fear of losing, fear of rejection, fear of uncertainty. And because of that fear, they grip everything too tightly. They hold on to toxic relationships, toxic habits, toxic environments. Why? Because at least it feels familiar, but familiar pain is still pain. Some of you are drowning in situations you should walked away from years ago, and every night your spirit is telling you the truth. This is not healthy. This is not peace. This is not purpose. But you stay because you're afraid of the unknown. Listen to me carefully. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is walking away from what drains your soul, walking away from constant disrespect, walking away from environments that destroy your growth, and trusting God enough to believe that better exists ahead of you. See, people think letting go means losing. No, sometimes letting go is the first step toward freedom. You cannot receive new blessings with clenched fists. You cannot grow while holding on to everything that's breaking you. And some of you are asking God for peace while entertaining chaos every single day. That doesn't work. You want clarity? Release confusion. You want healing? Release bitterness. You want growth? Release the fear that keeps you trapped in old patterns. Because the moment you surrender control, something beautiful happens. Your spirit breathes again. You stop trying to force people to love you. You stop trying to convince the world of your worth. You stop panicking over every setback. And instead, you begin to trust divine timing. You understand that what is meant for you will not require you to destroy yourself to keep it. Ride that again. What is meant for you will not require you to lose your dignity, your sanity, and your peace just to hold on to it. Real blessings bring alignment, not constant confusion. And yes, life will still test you. You will still face storms. You will still experience heartbreak, disappointment, delays, and moments where nothing makes sense. But when you stop trying to control every outcome, you stop living in constant panic. You begin to move with peace instead of desperation. That's the difference. Desperation says, I have to make this happen right now. Faith says, what is for me will arrive at the right time. And timing matters. Some blessings would destroy you if they arrive too early. Some opportunities require growth before you can handle them. Some prayers are delayed because God is preparing your character to sustain what you asked for. But most people quit too soon. They panic in the waiting season. They lose faith in the silence. They assume delay means denial. No, sometimes God is working in places you cannot see, arranging things behind the scenes, protecting you from things you don't even know exist, positioning your life for something greater than your current understanding. That's why you must stop trying to control every chapter. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust the lessons, and most importantly, trust God. Because peace begins the moment you stop trying to carry a burden that was never yours to hold. Some of you think the pain means God forgot about you. You think the struggle is proof that your life is falling apart. You think the heartbreak means you are cursed. You think the delay means you are being denied. But what if the pain is not punishment? What if the pain is preparation? See, that changes everything, because most people spend their lives running from discomfort. The moment life gets hard, they panic. The moment pressure arrives, they quit. The moment heartbreak enters the room, they lose faith in themselves. But strength is not born in comfort. Strength is born when life hits you in the mouth. And you keep getting back up anyway. That's where character is built. Not in easy seasons, not when everybody is cheering your name, not when the money is flowing and the doors are opening. Character is built in the dark, in the lonely nights, in the seasons nobody claps for. In the moments where you cry in silence and still wake up the next morning to keep going. That's where real growth happens. See, everybody wants the reward. Few people are willing to survive the process. Everybody wants purpose. Few people are willing to endure the pain that purpose requires, because purpose costs something. It costs comfort. It costs ego. It costs the old version of you. And some of you are grieving people, places, and seasons that God had to remove from your life so you could grow into who you were meant to become. Ride that slowly in your spirit. Some things had to break. That relationship had to end. That betrayal had to happen. That disappointment had to wake you up. Not because you deserved pain, but because pain was revealing what comfort was hiding. Sometimes you don't realize who people truly are until life gets difficult. Anybody can stand beside you during sunshine, but storms reveal loyalty, pressure reveals character, and some people disappear the moment you stop being useful to them. That hurts, of course it hurts, but the pain opened your eyes. Now you see clearer. Now you move wiser. Now you understand the difference between people who love your spirit and people who only loved your convenience. Pain teaches lessons pleasure never could. That's why your hardest seasons often become your greatest teachers. The nights you cried alone taught you how to pray. The betrayals taught you discernment. The failures taught you humility. The losses taught you gratitude. And the struggle taught you endurance. Listen to me carefully. The strongest people are not people who avoided suffering. The strongest people are those who survived suffering without allowing it to turn them cold. That's real power. Anybody can become bitter. Anybody can become angry. Anybody can let pain poison their soul. But to go through hell and still keep your faith, to be betrayed and still choose love, to be broken and still believe tomorrow can be better, that takes strength most people will never understand. And some of you have survived things nobody even knows about. You smiled while your heart was breaking. You showed up while fighting silent battles. You carried responsibilities while emotionally exhausted. People saw your appearance, but they never saw the war happening inside you. And yet you survived. Do you understand how powerful that is? There were moments you wanted to quit. Moments you questioned your worth. Moments you sat alone asking God, why me? But look at you. You're still here, still standing, still breathing, still fighting for your future. That means the pain did not destroy you. It transformed you. See, pain has two choices. It can break you or it can build you. The difference is in how you respond to it. Some people let pain make them victims forever. They replay the hurt every day. They build their identity around what happened to them. And slowly the pain becomes their prison. But others? Others take the pain and turn it into power. They let the heartbreak deepen their wisdom. They let the struggle strengthen their spirit. They let the disappointment push them closer to purpose. That's what growth looks like. And understand this clearly. Healing does not mean pretending the pain never happened. Healing means the pain no longer controls your life. It means you stop bleeding on people who never cut you. It means you stop punishing yourself for surviving difficult seasons. It means you stop carrying shame for battles that were meant to teach you something. Some of you are still angry at yourself for mistakes God already forgave. You keep replaying old failures in your head. You keep revisiting moments that no longer exist. You keep torturing yourself over a past you cannot change, but listen carefully. You cannot heal while constantly reopening old wounds. At some point, you must release the guilt. At some point, you must forgive yourself. At some point, you must believe that your worst moment is not your final identity, because if pain taught you something, then the pain was not wasted. And sometimes the very thing that almost destroyed you becomes the thing that gives your life meaning. The person who survived depression becomes the voice that saves others from hopelessness. The person who survived poverty develops the hunger and discipline to create a better future. The person who endured heartbreak learns how to love with deeper wisdom. Nothing is wasted when God is involved. Nothing, even your tears, carry purpose. Even your failures carry lessons. Even your darkest nights are shaping a stronger version of you. That's why you cannot judge your life by one painful chapter. A single storm does not define the entire journey, and some of you need to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Because pain always leaves a message behind. Sometimes the message is, slow down. Sometimes the message is, let go. Sometimes the message is, you deserve better than what you've been accepting. And sometimes the message is simply, you are stronger than you think. See, pain introduces you to parts of yourself comfort never reveals. You discover your resilience, your endurance, your faith, your ability to survive impossible seasons. And once you survive something hard, fear begins to lose power over you. Because now you know, if God carried you through that season, He can carry you through this one too. That's why you cannot allow temporary pain to make permanent decisions for your life. Do not quit because life became difficult. Do not lose faith because the road became painful. Do not assume your story is over because you entered a dark chapter. Storms do not last forever. And one day, you will look back at the season that almost broke you and realize it was the season that built you into the person you were always meant to become. Everybody wants the reward, everybody wants success, the respect, the peace, the breakthrough, the blessing. But very few people fall in love with the process. That's the problem. People love results, but they hate repetition. They want victory without sacrifice, growth without discomfort, elevation without discipline. And life does not work that way. See, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is proof that you believe your future matters. Ride that again. Discipline is proof that you believe your future matters. Because every time you wake up early when you don't feel like it, every time you keep working while nobody notices, every time you stay committed while results are invisible, you are telling God, I trust what you placed inside me. That's faith. Faith is not just praying for opportunities. Faith is preparing for them before they arrive. Too many people ask for greatness while living with lazy habits. No structure, no consistency, no commitment. Then they wonder why life stays the same. Listen carefully. Your life changes when your habits change. Not overnight, not instantly. But daily small disciplines repeated consistently create powerful results over time. That workout you almost skipped matters. That prayer you whispered when nobody heard you matters. That extra hour of studying matters. That decision to stay focused instead of distracted matters. Little things become big things. That's how transformation works. And the reason discipline is so difficult is because feelings are unstable. Some mornings you feel motivated. Some mornings you don't. Some days you feel strong. Some days you feel emotionally drained. But disciplined people do not allow feelings to control their direction. That's maturity. Children are controlled by emotion. Adults are controlled by principles. You think successful people wake up every day feeling inspired? No. They wake up committed. There's a difference. Commitment says, I will continue even when the emotion disappears. And that separates average people from extraordinary people. Because average people stop when it becomes uncomfortable. The gym gets hard, they quit. The business struggles, they quit. The relationship requires growth, they quit. The dream takes too long, they quit. But disciplined people understand something others don't. Consistency beats intensity. A little progress every day becomes massive growth over time. That's why you cannot build your life on temporary motivation. Motivation comes and goes, discipline stays. Discipline carries you when inspiration disappears. Discipline keeps you moving when emotions collapse. Discipline protects your future from your temporary moods. And some of you keep delaying your purpose, waiting to feel ready. Listen to me, you will never always feel ready. You move anyway, you pray anyway, you study anyway, you build anyway, you keep showing up anyway. That's how greatness is formed. Not in comfort, in consistency. See, every successful person you admire mastered the art of doing difficult things repeatedly. That's it. Behind every achievement is sacrifice nobody saw. The lonely nights, the missed parties, the discipline when nobody was watching, the commitment during seasons of doubt. Everybody celebrates the victory. Few people respect the preparation. But preparation is where the real battle happens. Character is built when nobody is clapping for you. Can you stay faithful when there is no audience? Can you stay disciplined when nobody praises your effort? Can you keep working when results are slow? That's the test, because life will not always reward you immediately. Sometimes you plant seeds in one season and see growth much later, and weak minds quit during the waiting period. They want instant success, instant results, instant recognition. But real growth takes time. A tree does not grow overnight. Muscles are not built overnight. Wisdom is not developed overnight. Everything meaningful requires process, and process requires patience. That's why discipline and faith work together. Discipline says, I will keep planting. Faith says the harvest is coming. You need both. Because discipline without faith becomes exhausting, and faith without discipline becomes empty talk. You cannot pray for health while destroying your body every day. You cannot pray for financial growth while refusing to learn discipline with money. You cannot pray for purpose while wasting your life on distractions. At some point, your actions must align with your prayers. That's where transformation begins. Now let me tell you something dangerous about distraction. Distraction feels harmless in the moment. One wasted hour, one lazy day, one excuse. But repeated long enough, distraction becomes destruction. Because every day you delay your growth, you delay the life you were called to live. That's why discipline is spiritual. It is warfare against your lower self, against procrastination, against excuses, against fear, against the version of you that wants comfort more than purpose. And that battle happens every single day. Every morning you choose between comfort and growth. Every day you choose between excuses and responsibility. Every day you choose between temporary pleasure and long-term purpose. And those choices shape your destiny. People think destiny is one giant moment. No, destiny is built through daily decisions. What you repeatedly do becomes who you become. If you repeatedly quit, you become someone who quits. If you repeatedly stay committed, you become someone who endures. That's why self-discipline creates self-respect. Because deep down, you know when you are betraying your potential. You know when you're wasting time. You know when fear is controlling your choices. You know when laziness is stealing your future. And every time you break promises to yourself, your confidence weakens. But every time you keep your word to yourself, your spirit grows stronger. That's why discipline changes more than your circumstances. It changes your identity. You begin to trust yourself again. You become somebody who finishes what they start. Somebody who keeps moving under pressure. Somebody who refuses to collapse every time life gets difficult. That's power, and understands clearly. The world respects people who can control themselves, not people controlled by every emotion, not people controlled by every distraction, not people controlled by comfort. Self-control is strength. That's why the strongest people are often the quietest people, because they mastered themselves. They learned how to stay calm under pressure, how to stay focused during chaos, how to keep moving while others complain. And that kind of discipline creates freedom. Freedom financially, freedom mentally, freedom spiritually, because once discipline becomes your lifestyle, you stop depending on motivation to save you. You become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger. And one day people will look at your life and call you lucky. They will see the results, the peace, the growth, the success, but they will never fully understand the sacrifices you made in silence, the discipline nobody applauded, the consistency nobody noticed. The faith you held on to when nothing seemed to be working. That's what built you, not talent alone, not luck. Discipline, the daily decision to keep going. Even when it was hard, there is something inside you that refuses to die even after the heartbreak. Even after the rejection, even after the failures, the delays, the disappointments, the nights you almost gave up, there is still a voice inside you whispering, you were made for more. And some of you have spent years trying to silence that voice. You drowned it in fear, in excuses, in distractions, in survival mode. But purpose does not disappear just because you ignore it. It waits. It waits while you doubt yourself. It waits while you settle for less than you deserve. It waits while you convince yourself that your dreams are too unrealistic, too late, too impossible. But deep down, you know there is more in you. You feel it every time you look at your life and realize you were not created just to exist. You were not born merely to wake up, struggle, pay bills, carry pain, and die with your gifts still trapped inside you. No, there is an assignment attached to your life. And the reason you feel restless is because your spirit knows you are capable of greater things. But fear has been sitting in the driver's seat. Fear tells you you're not qualified. Fear tells you you missed your chance. Fear tells you you're too broken to become anything meaningful. And if you listen to fear long enough, it will convince you to betray your own potential. That's what happens to many people. Not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they spent their lives doubting the very thing God placed inside them. Listen carefully. Doubt is dangerous because it kills dreams before they even have the chance to grow. Some people die with greatness trapped inside them, not because they failed, but because they never tried. They allowed fear to talk them out of their purpose. And fear is a liar. Fear magnifies obstacles. Fear exaggerates failure. Fear makes small problems look permanent. But your calling is bigger than your fear. Ride that again. Your calling is bigger than your fear. The problem is, many of you are waiting for confidence before you move. But confidence does not come first. Action comes first. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving despite fear. You think fearless people are special? No, they simply decided their purpose mattered more than their comfort. That's the difference. And some of you keep asking God for signs while ignoring the gifts already inside you. You already know what burns in your heart. You already know the dream that keeps returning to your spirit. You already know the thing that makes you feel alive. But because the road looks difficult, you keep running away from it. Listen to me. Everything meaningful in life requires risk. Love requires risk. Growth requires risk. Purpose requires risk. You cannot become who you were called to be while hiding inside comfort zones. Comfort zones destroy potentials. They make you settle. They make you play small. They make you trade your purpose for temporary security. And years later, people wake up filled with regret because they lived safe but empty. Do not let that become your story. You have one life won. And every day you spend doubting yourself is a day stolen from your destiny. Some of you have survived battles that should have destroyed you. Think about that. There were moments you thought you wouldn't recover. Moments you thought the pain would break you permanently. Moments where your heart was shattered and your spirit exhausted. But somehow, you survived. You got back up again. Do you know why? Because there is purpose attached to your existence. God does not keep you alive by accident. The fact that you are still breathing means your story is not over. There is still work for you to do. Still impact for you to make. Still lives for you to touch. But you must stop measuring your worth by your current circumstances. Your current condition is not your final identity. Just because life is difficult right now does not mean your future is doomed. Some of the greatest people in history were rejected before they were respected, ignored before they were celebrated, broken before they were rebuilt stronger. Struggle does not cancel calling. In many cases, struggle prepares calling because purpose requires strength, wisdom, humility, endurance, and pain develops those qualities. That's why you cannot allow temporary setbacks to convince you that your dream is impossible. Every successful person has scars. Every strong person has a story of survival. Nobody becomes powerful without pressure. And understand this clearly. Your environment will sometimes try to shrink your vision. People project their fears onto you. They say things like, be realistic, don't dream too big. People like us don't succeed. But sometimes people speak from their limitations, not yours. Do not allow somebody else's fear to define your future. Some people will never understand your vision because the vision was not given to them. It was given to you. That means you have a responsibility to protect it. Protect your mind from negativity. Protect your focus from distractions. Protect your spirit from people who constantly drain your belief in yourself. Because dreams are fragile in the beginning. And if you constantly surround yourself with doubt, eventually your own faith starts dying. That's why you must learn to encourage yourself. Some days nobody will clap for you. Some days nobody will believe in you. Some days the journey will feel lonely. But you keep moving anyway. You keep building anyway. You keep praying anyway. You keep showing up anyway. Because purpose is not dependent on applause. And hear me clearly today. Stop waiting for permission to become who you already are. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop shrinking yourself to make insecure people comfortable. Stop talking yourself out of your own greatness. You were not born to live beneath your potential. There is greatness in you. Not arrogance, greatness, the ability to rise above pain, the ability to inspire others through your story, the ability to create, lead, build, overcome, transform. But none of it matters if you spend your life doubting yourself into paralysis. At some point you must decide, will you spend your life controlled by fear? Or will you trust God enough to walk toward the life you were called to live? Because the tragedy is not failure. The tragedy is living your entire life never discovering what could have happened if you had believed in yourself. And one day, years from now, you are going to look back at this season, and you will either thank yourself for being courageous or regret the fact that fear kept you small. So stop doubting your calling. The dream exists for a reason. The fire inside you exists for a reason. The hunger for more exists for a reason. Now it's time to move. There comes a moment in every person's life when exhaustion changes them. Not physical exhaustion, soul exhaustion. The kind of exhaustion that comes from carrying pain too long, from overthinking too much, from fighting battles in your mind every single day while pretending everything is okay. And eventually, you get tired. Tired of worrying about things you cannot control. Tired of trying to hold together a life that keeps falling apart in your hands. Tired of acting strong while silently breaking inside. Some of you know exactly what that feels like. You smile in public and cry in private. You encourage everybody else while secretly feeling empty yourself. You keep showing up for people who would never carry the weight you carry for them. And after a while, your spirit starts asking a deeper question. How long can I keep living like this? Because fear is exhausting. Fear drains your peace. Fear steals your sleep. Fear makes you imagine disasters that haven't even happened yet. It traps your mind in constant survival mode. Always worried, always anxious, always waiting for the next problem. And many people have lived that way for so long they no longer remember what peace feels like. But then something happens. One day the pressure becomes too heavy, the pain becomes too deep, the fear becomes too exhausting. And finally, you surrender not because you are weak, because you realize you were never meant to carry everything alone. That moment changes people, because surrender is where peace begins. The moment you stop trying to be God over your own life. The moment you stop trying to control every outcome. The moment you finally say, God, I trust you. Fear begins to lose its grip on your soul, not instantly, not magically, but slowly, deeply, powerfully, because now your confidence is no longer built on circumstances. It is built on faith. And faith changes the way you walk through life. See, before faith, every setback feels like the end. Every delay feels personal. Every closed door feels like rejection. But when God takes over, you begin to understand that not every closed door is punishment. Some doors are protection. Some delays are preparation. Some endings are necessary for new beginnings. And suddenly, you stop panicking over every obstacle because you realize something powerful. If God removed it, maybe it was harming you. If God delayed it, maybe you weren't ready yet. If God closed the door, maybe something greater is ahead. That mindset changes everything. Now fear no longer controls your decisions. You stop begging people to stay in your life. You stop chasing validation from the world. You stop forcing things that require you to betray your peace. Because deep down, you finally understand. What is meant for you cannot miss you. Read that slowly. What is meant for you cannot miss you. That opportunity, that blessing, that purpose, that breakthrough. If God has assigned it to your life, no human being can steal it from you. And once you truly believe that, fear begins to die. Because fear survives on uncertainty, but faith survives on trust. Fear says, what if everything goes wrong? Faith says, even if things go wrong, God will still guide me through it. That's power. And understand this carefully. Trusting God does not mean life suddenly becomes easy. No, storms will still come. People will still disappoint you. Pain will still visit your life. There will still be nights when you feel tired, confused, and emotionally overwhelmed. But the difference now is this. You no longer face those storms alone. Your perspective changes. Instead of collapsing under pressure, you begin praying through pressure. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you, you move with faith even while trembling. That's real courage. Real courage is not pretending fear doesn't exist. Real courage is saying, I'm afraid, but I will trust God anyway. And some of you need to stop waiting until you feel fearless before moving forward. You move while afraid. You pray while uncertain. You keep walking while the path is unclear, because faith is not built in certainty. Faith is built in surrender. And surrender requires humility. It requires admitting that your understanding is limited, that you do not control everything, that sometimes the plan God has for your life is bigger than the one you created for yourself. That's difficult for many people because pride wants control. Pride says, I know best. I can handle everything myself. I don't need help. But eventually life humbles everybody. Eventually everybody reaches a moment where strength alone is not enough. And in those moments, people discover something beautiful. God's presence becomes strongest when human strength runs out. That's why some of your darkest seasons brought you closer to God than your comfortable seasons ever did. Pain stripped away distractions. Pain exposed your need for deeper faith. Pain forced you to realize that money, status, relationships, and success cannot heal a restless soul. Only peace from God can do that, and when that peace enters your life, it changes your energy completely. You stop moving from desperation. You stop living in panic. You stop needing constant reassurance from other people. Now there is calmness in your spirit, not because life is perfect, but because your trust is no longer attached to temporary things. That's why people become confused by your peace. They see you going through storms and wonder why you are not collapsing. They see you facing pressure and wonder why you still carry calmness in your eyes. What they don't understand is this: when God takes over, your strength no longer comes from yourself alone. Now your spirit is anchored in something eternal that changes how you think, how you respond, how you survive difficult seasons. You stop seeing yourself as abandoned. Now you see yourself as guided. You stop seeing setbacks as proof of failure. Now you see them as part of the process. You stop asking, why is life attacking me? Now you ask, what is God teaching me through this? That shift is life-changing, because now pain no longer makes you hopeless. It makes you wiser. Delays no longer make you desperate. They make you patient. And fear. Fear no longer controls your future because you finally understand one truth deep in your soul. God did not bring you this far just to abandon you now. The same God who carried you through heartbreak, through loneliness, through failure, through depression, through confusion, through nights you thought you wouldn't survive, will carry you through this season too. That's why you can breathe again. That's why you can walk with peace again, not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you finally trust the one who does.